here's what I know about you, Dom. So, Dom Brightman is a best-selling author and Maxwell Leadership Trainer and a host of the Going North podcast. There you go. Right there. Brightman.com is your website, and empowering everyday people to lead themselves better and build a lasting legacy. You know what more inspiring to me is like your journey of overcoming a major personal setbacks and how you turn towards the books and how you self-helped and how you are giving that guiding other people and how we need to be having our mindset shift minds, practical tools to shift your mind to enable yourself to be the person that you really want to be and unlock one's potential. And Dom, welcome to Key to You. I'm so glad to have you on my podcast today.
I'm so glad you had me on the show. I'm honored that you actually invited me to be on your podcast, and I'm grateful for that. So, hey, let's unlock some keys and hopefully invite Alicia Keys down the road.
There you go. I like how you just, connected my key to you right there. See? Unlocking the keys right there.
That's right, Alicia Keys, all the keys. Piano keys.
One of my really good friend, she painted that and gifted me during the Christmas time. So it's very precious to me.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So let's talk about, right? We all, every day when we wake up, how do you set yourself? How do you organize your mind before you get into anything? Let's start with that. Let's talk about who you are a little bit, and then let's start with that question.
Hey, I'm down for that one. Rare occasion folks ask me about a morning routine.
No, I mean, it's more than a routine. It's like, how do one set their mind to be successful? And I believe morning hours is so powerful. And wanted to know from you, what's your perspective there?
Yeah, definitely. One of my favorite tips for success is that a good day starts the night before. And usually that involves making sure that the mood is right when it comes to just good old solo activity. It's like, hey, when it comes to getting ready for bed, keeping the room as dark as possible, making sure it's cool. And then also, even before that, just rewinding on the day and how it went. And I always like to recommend 5 questions for folks to ask. And usually when it comes to the day of, or should I say the day before, the question you should really ask yourself is, what good did I do today and what did I learn today? Because the thing is that when you focus on what good you did, you can always focus on, all right, I contributed to the plan by doing something positive. I complimented a random person today. They actually brightened up a little bit compared to what they were before, especially if you're in customer service. That's really a requirement. Like, is there a project that you're basically wanting to accomplish that you were procrastinating on? Like myself with these books that I have published and the ones I'm waiting to publish, like there are just so many things. It's like, all right, I was able to get 1,000 words done today. I was able to redo the table of contents today, like just small wins and tracking those and then focusing on what I learned. And one thing that I've noticed that I've learned, especially recently, is the fact that it's just so beautiful to have AI these days, because the thing is that, there's the dark side of it. Like there's companies using it to outsource and get rid of jobs, but there's still a good side to it where it's like, hey, when AI F's up, they can still hire you back on as a consultant to fix the issues. And also for content creators like me, just ways to create and modify certain titles. Like I have a podcast, Going North, as you mentioned earlier, and that beautiful introduction that you did, like always asking
Oh, you froze on me. Um,
90% of the time these days, hey, I have a title here. What are your thoughts about it? Okay, but yeah, just focusing on like how can I keep this title under 10 words in SEO ready? Because even though Google AI is still huge and a lot of folks aren't going to go past the AI summary these days, there's still going to be a select few who are going to still want to go deeper into where it comes to their research is looking up certain things, and I want to make sure I'm ready for that. And I've noticed that my download numbers have increased recently because of that, because it's just the titles. It's like, hey, making a title more clickable is something that you really have to do in this big age of attention management. So just focusing on what good I did for the day and what did I learn, and then preparing my mind for the following day by asking, hey, what good can I do tomorrow? And then asking, what can I share tomorrow? Is there a kind word I can share with someone? Is there someone I haven't called and talked to in a while? Sharing, like, seeing how they're doing, catching up with them, because a lot of stuff has happened in the past few years and things have changed. And sometimes you may just lose contact with folks like, hey, let me keep up with them, see if they made any progress, see if they're still in good spirits, good health, and things like that, and offer assistance if need be. And then the third thing is not only what good I can do today, what can I share, but also what must I do? What's that thing that I've been putting off for so long that really could be fixed with the matter of an hour or two, or maybe in 15 minutes? Because I know we're still in tax season and sometimes folks can procrastinate on that. So just that as an example.
And it's so interesting. Your story is you're a self-built person. You dedicated yourself to read books audaciously, and based on what I've read a little bit about you and I've followed you. And today you are a coach in the Maxwell Leadership, which is to me is a very highly recognized leadership program that comes from Maxwell. Getting from where you were to that journey itself shows so much of resilience, hard work, building the personality, grooming yourself. All of that journey, did that help you in how you coach today in the Maxwell Leadership? When you are sitting down with 10 or 15 or maybe 100, is that what would that help in how you coach others to be that person, to be that grounded, that, grooming is everyday work. Take it small, build upon it. So is that something that you feel like, it really helped you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'm honored that you said I'm self-made, but I don't consider myself self-made because the books I've read, they're written by great men and women some are still alive, some sadly may have passed. I've been blessed with two wonderful parents. Dad, he sadly passed away, which I can't believe was 9 years ago. And a lovely mother who I consider my first ever public speaking coach, wonderful family and friends at church that I grew up with, some colleagues that I've been able to connect with, mentors I have and still have. Like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, and I'm basically a flower bud in a field of flowers. So I don't really consider myself self-made. I'm honored that you said that. Not to say really that journey helps me today with realizing that not only that I'm not self-made, and I'm still blessed to be around other wonderful folks, and folks like you are putting great content out there to not only give me an echo and a way to echo my message, but also to grow yourself too, because that's the other thing too. I had to make a decision to really change my life for the better and make that choice and step forward. Like you mentioned earlier, the conversation with your daughter. It's like, hey, you're a mom, you got a family. Like that's huge. Like making sure you set aside the time to start a podcast and get to at least 80 plus subscribers and stay consistent with your content and putting it out there. Like that takes a lot of work on top of what you're already doing. Like it really all just stems on making that decision and sticking with it, even if you're going to have some setbacks along the way.
Absolutely. You said it so well. So that takes me to the next question. If failure wasn't scary and success wasn't guaranteed, right? What would you tell people to do right now with their current role, wherever they are?
Yeah, that's the good thing about success and failure. One of them is guaranteed, to be honest. It's like, hey, you take that step forward, take some action, you get some progress. Hey, that's success.
Yeah.
If you learn what not to do and you feel like a failure, that's also going to happen because, hey, you had a little setback. But if you really take a moment and really take a breath and realize, like, hey, I may have had a failure for a moment, then it's okay because I learned something. I recommend folks to read a book by Tim Grover called Winning. And
Okay.
that book, in that book, he talks about the classic inspirational phrase like, hey, when you're knocked down, make sure you get right back up. It's like, nah, maybe you should take a moment and realize why you got knocked down in the first place.
Right.
and then
Yeah.
and then get back up until you realize, okay, this is why I got knocked down the first time. All right, now let me get back up with some new wisdom and experience, because with my show Going North, it didn't have a beautiful launch. It didn't have an early, easy launch. There was some self-doubt going on there because that show launched September, so that was about 6 months after my dad passed back in 2017, where I basically stopped marketing and promoting my book because I had some grief that I didn't know that I was dealing with still. And I just stopped marketing it. And I realized, okay, let me go ahead and market it. And I had a plan called 50 Days of Inspiration, where every day I would share an inspirational quote with the hashtag 50 Days of Inspiration. I even asked a couple of buddies to join in with the hashtag and retweet and repost the inspirational quote with one of their own. And the thing was, I didn't tell them the end plan of it, because the plan was to launch the podcast on day 50. Like, hey, this is the reason why it's 50 days. And it's like, no, it's actually day 47, because I was trying to make picture images and I didn't know how Canva worked back in the day. So I outsourced it, and then I realized, whoops, I sent this person duplicates of a couple quotes. So I really had 47 images. So it was just bad, and it was okay in the end, because I'm having this conversation with you today with over 1,000+ episodes, because even though I didn't launch it on day 50, it launched probably about a good 2 weeks after that, after I figured out how to actually edit the episodes and get them out there, is the fact that, hey, setbacks are going to happen. You're going to have some speed bumps, some roadblocks. Sometimes you feel like you're going to have a giant brick wall, but you have to really just make that decision to realize, like, hey, I said I was going to do this thing, and since it's an interview-based show, I interviewed about 7 authors before launch day, and I promised them it would be uploaded on a certain day, and if it wasn't going to be up, I was going to get some conversations. So I also enlisted other people in my goals too. So that's probably my 2 things, is so like, hey, just make that decision and
keep
enlist the right people. Yeah.
It is so important what you said, is like, you make a decision, and once you make that decision, act on it, keep it going, right? And that's what I had this, the belief, or like that that passion and that craving to start the podcast 7 years before I started. Something in me said, I'm not ready. My voice is not still, groomed enough. Who's going to listen to me? You know how that clouded thoughts will run in your mind. It took me to meet one mentor of mine who just said, girl, start. Right. And my first podcast started with her. And I'm so blessed to have really good people in our life. But once I started, I promised to myself that I will continue. And I'm so thankful for, for you all to be, you don't know me. I reached out and you consider to be here. And that's a blessing. So thank you for that. That's how we all grow and we all share. We all give that strength for others who are listening to us, that you can do this. All right. So the next one is, what is the almost small, ridiculous habit that has created a massive positive change in your life that you would be willing to share with the audience here?
Interesting question indeed. Small, ridiculous habit.
I'll tell you
Let's
why I
see.
asked that, because that's mine too. All right.
Uh, oh, is it a piece of chocolate candy before you start your day or before you go in the house? Is that the habit?
Piece of candy. There you go. You got it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Funny enough, even though it's not as much these days, folks who are familiar with Shawn Michaels, legendary wrestler, Hall of Fame wrestler,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
entrance music is called Sexy Boy. That's my ringtone for the morning when I wake up.
There you go. That was a good one. So, in a world full of distractions and so much negativity around these days, how do you protect your mindset so you don't lose your piece of immortality, which is so important for us to do whatever you're doing, right? Because I do have my day job, I do a podcast, I want to write a book, but your mindset needs to come back from all the negativity around that's happening. How do you still keep yourself sane and keep moving and keep focusing?
Well, I tend to avoid the news. That's one thing I tend to do. I usually don't like
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the whole 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, God forbid, some of the other channels have it 24/7. Just like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of the news. Like, it's
Yeah.
it's good to read headlines of certain articles if you subscribe to like news channels and skimming over things, but definitely like avoiding the news. That's just that'll get you in a bad mood these
There you
days,
go.
especially since they're built to distract you, and if it bleeds,
Yeah.
it leads, as the old saying goes. So, definitely that. Also, listening to positive material. I like to listen to guided meditations a lot. Victoria Gallagher, she's a great person. I love her voice. Wonderful guest to have on my show. She does great guided meditations, even has a whole app for a whole bunch of them.
Wow.
Allison J.K., she's also great. Her stuff is a little bit more, I'd have to say it's kind of in reverse, because the thing is, it's a lot of them you don't have to like physically like do breathing with it or whatever. But I will say, don't drive or do something important while you're listening. It's best to do it if you're ready to go to sleep, where it's like the way it would go, the way she was trained. I forgot what part of Asia she was in for like 5 to 10 years, where she basically learned this like backwards meditation or affirmation technique where it says, it's like, it's like, hey, I am stupid, no. And then it's like, I like, it's so hard. It's kind of hard to explain right now, but it's something you have to experience once to like really get it. So listening to those usually before going to sleep at the night before, and then some of the affirmations, repeating those in the morning too, listening to those. So that's what keeps me in a good state of mind these days.
So true. And I know many people don't understand, but it is so powerful when you're hitting bed and before you go into the deep sleep versus like, you're still in the awake and a little bit of a conscious. Listening to those affirmations is going to directly touch your subconscious mind. And because you'll be in the alpha state. So I do that, and I exactly know what you are talking about and how important that is. Thank you for saying that. So what is the most surprising thing you have learned from interviewing these hundreds and thousand episodes? Wow. What do you learn from them, whether it's a leadership, whether it's the book authors, and are that part of your leadership book that you have written, Going North? Not Going North. Wait a minute. So your book was, I'm sorry, I'm just learning the books that you have written. Help me here.
You actually got it right. you got it right, actually. Going North is the
Going
book.
North, right? Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah,
I
you
was
ain't brag.
thinking
Don't
about
beat
it, but I
yourself
was
up.
like, debating because I know you have 3 books. I don't know which one you have. So what do you share? Because to me, I personally want to know, Dom, because I have this podcast and I have an aspiration to grow further and get many of these leaders on my podcast too. What do you tell people like me who are still in this, started new or still in the process of becoming? What would you say?
So I guess when it comes to keeping your show going, I have to say, really have fun. Definitely have
Yeah.
fun, because I mess with my guests a lot when they're on the show, if they're in a good mood, especially through Podmatch,
Yeah.
website that I use, where I basically have like, hey, one of the requirements is a sense of humor, because I like to have fun, and I hope
Yeah.
folks who guest on the show like to have fun too, because
Yeah.
the thing is, folks are going through a lot these days, and I don't
Yeah.
want to be. Another thing with my show is like, hey, you want to inspire, especially non-writers, to become writers and authors and things like that, but also
Yeah.
to really leave them feeling a little bit better after hearing an episode. And I like to ask fun questions out of there, like your questions so far. I don't know if you've asked AI to give you some powerful out of the blue questions, or they just came out of your infinite curiosity, but they're really interesting and questions that are great that haven't been asked before. And
Yeah.
just that, and just being yourself and being okay with finding your voice.
Yeah.
There was an article some years ago that I read, I think it was like probably in 2020, where they interviewed Joe Rogan, and he mentioned that he didn't really find his stride until episode 180. Me personally, I didn't really find my stride personally until around episode 300, because I
Yeah.
was doing, on average, I do 3 to 6 interviews a week. And the thing is that after a while, at the beginning, I had certain questions I would ask from the beginning that I would plan
Yeah.
beforehand, and then some listeners would get feedback. It's like, hey, why are you asking what their favorite music is? Like, we don't care about that. It's like just or even their book titles. Funny enough, like like even that question, because I like to read and things like that. I figure they like to read
Right.
too, and things like that, and just being okay to getting feedback from listeners and just improving as you go. So I have
Yeah.
to say, really just have fun, especially with your interview-based show. Like, have fun,
Yeah.
ask great questions, and just be open to feedback from your listening audience, because it's like, hey, if one person comments and they actually listen,
Yeah.
that's a
I
win.
mean, absolutely. I welcome the feedback, right? Because we are here I wouldn't claim myself as a perfect either. I'm still working, and I go back and go through how I performed in the previous podcast. Oh my God, I have a list of things. Okay, I need to do differently here. I need to do differently here. So that goes on, that cycle right now, but I do agree. So how do you handle, I mean, I know, how do you share? Because to me, I think the question of handling imposter syndrome may not fit you, because damn, you're a cool person already. And you're a coach in the Maxwell Leadership Program. So to me, what would you say for the people who have this imposter syndrome on how they need to handle that situation, and how do they find themselves find themselves when they're in feeling that way and pull themselves out of it?
Oh, imposter syndrome. I've dealt with that. Funny enough, my second book, Stay the Course, The Elite Performer, 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. That book,
Okay.
I had trouble with that book, because the thing was, that book was supposed to come out almost exactly 2 years after Going North was published. The
Yeah.
problem was, I had my podcast at the time, and I was about a good, 2019, the book came out. So I had a couple dozen interviews under my belt, and I was interviewing folks with all these businesses and brands that were way bigger than me, audiences way bigger than mine, and books that I really enjoyed. And I
Yeah.
was feeling some
Yeah.
type of way, like, hey, how am I going to write about elite performance
Yeah.
when I've interviewed folks who got way better stories than me? And
Yeah.
what helped me to get over that was, it was actually in an ancient book called the Bible. I believe it was in Acts, that story of I think it was Jesus Christ when he came back after his death and resurrection, and he
Yeah.
mentioned and told Peter that you're going to do greater works than me.
Mm-hmm.
And considering how legendary Jesus is to this day, you may be thinking, man, like he's going to say that to Peter. Like, what does he mean by that? And it just talks about how there was a moment, I believe
Yeah.
it was, I'm not sure if it was the Day of Atonement or day of the Pentecost. There we go. That was the day where there was thousands and thousands of folks who were gathered for a service, and there was a lot of souls who were changed that day. And the fact is, nowadays, like back in Jesus' time, those ancient times, like folks were
Yeah.
having to go by foot. They needed horses. Nowadays, we have cars. We got electric cars that run on batteries. We got social media that can reach
Yeah.
thousands of people, millions of people in seconds, depending on how the algorithm's set up. Like there are so many things that we can do.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the fact is that there are folks out there who want the Shruthi version of the message of empowerment and inspiration. They want your story. They may enjoy other people's stories, but you have a specific flavor, a specific recipe that
Right.
folks are going to want to enjoy, and they want to hear it from you. So that's what helped me to get over my own imposter syndrome with my second book. And you'd be surprised, like imposter syndrome is really out there in this social media age, especially. So like if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, just focus on how you can deliver the best you to your audience and not focus on and try to compare yourself with other people.
Absolutely. Oh, that's a powerful thing, what you just said. Never compare with others. And you're unique. It's okay, even if you do a disaster job, you will do better next time, right? So how do you, what's that one leadership, I would say from your framework that you have, like 5 E's framework that you have, what is that one which is that most people ignore? But you could, you see that and you're able to transform their entire life if they embraced it. I mean, this is what I feel like, it's so important for others to understand. There is a framework. Not everybody will, even if they attend the class or even if they're listening or reading a book or learning from our podcast today, let's say, but they need to really apply it. What is that one thing that you would say would help anybody benefit from?
Yeah, good question. The one that sticks out to me is energy. Leadership and energy go together, but not everybody really thinks about that. They think about empowering other people, which is good. They think about encouraging other people, which is also great. Examination, especially for self-leadership like yours truly, and we've been talking about reflection a lot in this conversation. Like those are all important, but being able to have the vessel, yourself, your body, like in the right shape to be able to keep going, like being able to have actual water in your metaphorical teapot. It's like, hey, if you're going to serve tea and be a servant leader, if you will, you got to have some hot water for the tea to happen. So if you ain't got no water in your metaphorical teapot and you being the teapot, then you can't really serve and lead on empty. So that is definitely the one. So if it's getting more sleep, if it's drinking more water, if it's basically setting yourself up for success, where you basically wake yourself up a little earlier, maybe getting an old school alarm clock that's not on your smartphone, that's set aside far across the room, that'll get you out of the bed. Like just doing those things that'll really help you to be in your peak performance state. Because now granted, the study's probably old, but in Stay the Course, I quoted a study where, and this was done back in 2008, I believe. So I got to figure out and find to see what the upgraded numbers are. But there was over, I think it was about $2 billion lost of productivity from companies who had employees that weren't getting good amounts of sleep. Because the thing is, I've noticed in my own life, even back in high school when I would try to pull all-nighters, like if I'm going to be good enough to do what I need to do, I got to make sure I get enough sleep. If I'm going to drive a car, I got to make sure I get my sleep and have a cutoff time. So just having that cutoff time for your smartphone, for your technology, like setting that, having that cutoff time and really sticking to it. And it can be easier said than done, but definitely. So energy is the E. Like see where you are energetically and figure out ways to get more out of yourself.
I love it. I love it. I do believe in it so much that the moment you have somebody with you, you'll know whether you want to continue the conversation or move away from that place. Or you know what I mean? So I definitely agree what you just said. It is so important. It is so important. All right. Imagine, this is to me is like, what would you say to these younger generation who are procrastinating, who are lazier, who are like stuck to the phone all the time? How would one should help this generation, for God's sake? Is where I'm having this thought process very strongly these days, but I don't know how. What is that we can do so that we can have less of, at least some time set aside with no electronics in their hands and have a proper sleep. So that is something I see a bigger problem in the future right now. I mean, I'm a mom of 2 kids, so I can see that.
Yeah, you're so right. Funny enough, I'm not sure when this interview was done with Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, talking about, hey, could you stop being on your phone so much, please? It's like, dude, I know you didn't create the technology, but you're kind of responsible for it right now. So it's like the drug dealer telling the druggee to stop doing drugs. It's like, all right,
Exactly.
like, all right, we get it. It's like
So
you got a point, but definitely one of the things I'd have to say, probably have the app set up on your phone that tracks your digital activity, because I mean, smartphones are already tracking us by default, but usually every Sunday I get a report at a notification that pops up. It's like, hey, you used your smartphone 1 hour 32 minutes less this week. It's like, oh, hey, you used your phone 2 hours and 34 minutes more this week.
Motivational.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you a nice report of where you were, like with your phone usage for the week and your screen tracking. And I've noticed it's like, hey, if it was a day where basically I was at my day job as opposed to a day off, it's where it's like, oh, I was on my phone less when it comes to being at the day job, as opposed to me having a full day of rest and relaxation, where it's like, oh, whoops. I guess I relaxed the body, but not the whole body. The eyes were getting a lot of blue light time. So I'd have to say tracking it is definitely a way to do that. Also going on a digital detox. Since you got 2 kiddos, a book I recommend folks to pick up is Digital Detox by Molly DeFrank. That's a pretty good one to read. Because she had that problem too, where even Steve Jobs himself, before he passed away, was like, yeah, I'm not going to have my kids on this iPad. It's crazy. The guy responds on the iPad even. It's kind of funny when you think about it. It's like the guy responsible for the distraction is like, I wouldn't use this. It's like, well, how'd you make it? Besides capitalism, like, make it money. I get it. You have a company, be profitable. It's like, all right, buddy.
That is so good. All right. So this is the last but one question here. I didn't plan for this, Dom, but I really want to ask you. You've been coaching so many upcoming leaders or people who are already in the leadership role. What are the different type of leadership issues and the things that you hear about that you would like to see a change? And especially connecting to the AI era in the future, it's coming very quick. What one leader should know, and how do they prepare themselves to be doing a better job in the future, not just today, in the AI era?
Powerful question. Burnout's a major thing, whether it's from the leaders themselves or the staff they oversee. And some of the things where they sometimes have meetings with folks and they're like, all right, so we notice you guys have been slacking in a certain area. And it's like, oh, and then you come back and then one person notice, like, oh, the world sucks. It's like, well, I mean, there's some good in the world, but yeah, there's parts of it too that kind of suck. I get you. But it's like, all right, let's focus on what we can actually change in here in the company first. Because it's like, the earth is pretty huge. Let's focus on what we can change here.
Absolutely. Oh.
Yeah.
It is so, that is so true, right? And the change comes from you, from within, and not without, focusing on the outside of you. I really wanted to understand, because I'm a leader in the healthcare tech company. And from being a leader of 7 to being a leader of 50 and being a leader of 1 or 2, doesn't matter. Like, you have to really set the tone, set the vision, have the right strategy, and know that you're dealing with another human being.
Yep.
And they come with a background of whatever their cultural background, whatever that is. Because I'm an immigrant, and I'm now a citizen of the United States, but I was immigrant. What I knew and how I grew up and my thought process is so different than when I came here. I was not the same person today sitting here in front of you. The Shruthi that I was in 2010 is so different. Right? So it's important for us to recognize and be thoughtful and be, supporting each other. As a leader, your words are powerful. That's what I believe in. My last question is, somebody listening to this conversation want to know, what's my 3 takeaway from this discussion, or 5? What would you say?
Oh, wow, takeaways. All right. Definitely intention. Have the right intentions, and making sure you verbalize and let other folks know if you're basically in a leadership position. Like, if you're casting a vision, like, hey, what's the intention of this and why are we doing this? So definitely intention is the main thing. Mm-hmm. Knowing the intentions with yourself is also important. So intention is the one major takeaway.
Yeah.
Ask great questions of yourself and other people. Because Shruthi asked some great questions. And I like to say I shared some great questions earlier with the PAR method of prepare, act, reflect, the 5 questions you should ask yourself daily of what good you should do today and what good you did today and what you learned and what you can share. And definitely encourage, I'd have to say a challenge for folks. Didn't mention it earlier, but I'll say it now, is to encourage 5 random people that could be complimenting folks, like, hey, you got a nice dress today. Oh, I like that social media post. It's like, hey, you showed up earlier today for work. Like, hey, you must have had a good night's sleep or something. Like, hey, just saying something random, like actionable. So just basically encourage people. And I'd have to say the last one would have to be to be careful how you approach others, because everybody's fighting a battle. It's a classic saying that everybody's fighting an invisible battle that you'll never see. So just definitely just be aware of that, and just treat people accordingly, because you never know what someone's going through, and just your presence may actually encourage them to keep going, especially if they like being around you. So yeah, definitely.
That beautiful, really, really beautiful. And thank you so much, Dom, to be here with me. I normally ask this question to my interviewer, like the guest who comes on this podcast, and this is something that I started new. Who do you think that? Who do you suggest that I have as my next guest, and anyone that you could recommend?
You know what? I'm not sure what her schedule is, but Amy P. Kelly, she's got a book coming out called Work is Personal. She is, I believe, the VP of training for John Gordon's companies.
Awesome. I'll reach out to her, Dom. Thank you. And I truly, truly appreciate your time today. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll be extremely grateful. If you have any feedback, please do share with me. And with that, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.